remember when I said that I don't do book reviews that often? Apparently that was a lie. I'm doing a lot more of these than I thought I would. An Academy for Liars is a book by Alexis Henderson. It is a dark academia book, which is a genre I hear a whole lot about, but never actually read before this one. I've gotta say, I don't know if I'm gonna pick up another one. So this book follows Lennon Carter, who discovers that her fiance is cheating on her at the engagement party. I think it was an engagement party. I'm not too sure. It took me like 2 weeks to read this book because it's very long. But anyway, after discovering this horrible betrayal, Lennon runs away and is about to make a permanent exit from the world when she receives a mysterious phone call. This call invites her to take the entrance exam for a school called Drayton College, which she's never heard of, but she decides to go for it. Drayton, as it turns out, is a school where the students learn to wield the power of persuasion to influence the world and people around them. This sends Lennon on a path of mastering her own power while trying not to let it consume her. Seems pretty interesting, right? So what did I think of it? Well, I'll start with the cover. I actually really like the cover design. It's super simple, but I always appreciate a cover that isn't trying to do too much. It's clean, the moth looks really cool, and I just think it's a good cover. I mean, obviously, I'm unlikely to even pick up a book at the store if I don't like the way the cover looks. What did I like about this book? Well, the setting was pretty cool. Most of the story takes place on Drayton's campus, with Lennon attending her classes and hanging out with her friends. I like the world building around it, and it's described as being removed from regular space and time to keep it hidden from the world. The power of persuasion is really important to the book, since it's exactly what everyone is at Drayton to study. It's like a type of magic, and as far as magic systems go, it's honestly pretty average. It's very cool in concept and I like the way it's described, but the exact limits and capabilities of it aren't explained super well. It kind of feels like certain powers and abilities are just revealed when they're convenient. It's also a little silly when fights happen and you picture it in your head, but all these characters are kind of just standing there and not really moving because it's a battle between their minds. But I guess that is pretty accurate to what a psychic battle would look like from the outside. One of the biggest issues with this book is the pacing. It feels really slow at times. For a really long stretch, I was kind of unclear about where the plot was going and what the point of the story was going to be, but that got better when Lennon started digging into the mysteries of the school, and I kind of wish there had been more focus on that from the beginning. There's some really tense and high-stress moments, and for the most part, I don't have any problem with those. They're done pretty well, but there's so much space between them, and although you do want slower parts to space out the more intense parts of a story, they just felt too slow. And then we have the characters. I appreciate that for the most part the central cast of the story is kept pretty small. There's Lennon, there's her advisor Dante, and then there are several students and classmates that she regularly hangs out with. These side characters were at least given enough space that I wasn't left wondering who someone was when they showed up again. However, I didn't really find any of the characters interesting, and I can't say I was super attached to them. They felt kind of underdeveloped, like they had stories that didn't go anywhere, or they just didn't have their own stories at all. And jumping off from the characters, there is a romance between Lennon and Dante, and while it's important to them as characters, it's not super integral to the plot as a whole. And I was honestly pretty thankful for that, because I don't care for them as a romantic pair. But I find it hard to tell if that's because they're not written very well, or because it's just really hard to get me to like a romance subplot. The question of, is this subjectively bad, or do I just not like it, is a very frequent question with these reviews. But reviews are meant to be subjective anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not writing a critical analysis here. Overall, I like the setting and mysteries of Drayton, but the pacing and characters were pretty lackluster. I still think I liked this book more than I didn't like it, so I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10. Dark academia might just not really be my thing. As always, if you're interested in an Academy for Liars, then go ahead and give it a shot. If you've already read it, then I'd like to hear what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Go ahead and let me know. Thanks for watching this video. It would be great if you could leave a like, and of course you can subscribe if you want to see more. Book reviews aren't my main thing, but apparently I'm doing them a lot more often than I expected. Thanks again for stopping by, and have a great day.